Hello guys, Greg back with another video on the channel. It's all killer no filler. So I wanted to do a video on some of my old school fragrances, but when I started to have a look in the collection to think about which fragrances to feature, I have got quite a lot of this style of fragrance. So what I'm going to do is break it down and just have 5 fragrances in each video. I've got at least 3 videos that I'm working on at the moment. I might do more, depends if people enjoy them, how well received the videos are, but for now I think I've certainly got at least 3 videos in the pipeline. So old school, very gentlemanly, very masculine type of fragrances are probably I'd say they're probably my favourite type of fragrances out there. And in my opinion, the ones I'm going to show you today, they're all just far better than anything any designer house is currently releasing. They're more creative, they're more daring, they perform better, and most importantly, they will smell better as well. Now, that being said, 4 of the 5 fragrances I'm going to talk about today have a current version in production. It doesn't mean it's going to smell like the version that I'm going to show you, because all of mine are a lot older. But just be aware of that. So first up, the first one we're going to talk about, complete classic. This is Dior Eau Sauvage. I'm not sure the year of this. This isn't a vintage bottle. I mean, obviously this fragrance has been around since, I think, 1965. But I've had this bottle for about 7 or 8 years. So it's quite an old one, and it certainly still smells fantastic. And I'd probably say that this is the ultimate cologne style fragrance. But it's not just a simple citrus woods like a lot of these citrus aromatic fragrances are. This one is just brilliantly crafted, and there's stages of development in here. So you open up with a mix of citrus and herbs. Quite quickly after that it transitions and you get a green floral element coming through the fragrance, but the citrus and herbs don't disappear, they stay around, so you've actually got quite a lot going on at the same time, and it works very well as a blend. But after literally just a few minutes, the key parts of this fragrance start to emerge. So you get oak moss and vetiver, and they pretty much stay around for the rest of the life of the fragrance on your skin. It's also got a very manly muskiness to it. It's not an animalic musk. It's just very manly. It's very appealing to other people that smell it on you. But as I said, it's a true classic. You can't knock this one at all. It's Eau Sauvage from Dior. So my second choice for this video, fragrance you don't really hear talked about much at all, and this is Lauder for Men by Estee Lauder. Again, this isn't a true vintage bottle. I'm not sure of the exact year. I think this is probably the first reformulation, but I've had this quite a few years, so it is quite an old bottle. Now, as with a lot of these old school fragrances, this one has a lot of oak moss, and it's proper oak moss from the days before IFRA turned up and started to spoil things. So you've got that beautiful green, woody, mossy forest type of scent in here. Now, you've also got a heavy dose of juniper in this fragrance. Now, what the juniper does in here is kind of adds a sharp spiciness. Juniper can come off in several ways. It's usually people associate it with like a boozy gin type of smell, but that's not how it works in here. There's none of that sort of boozy gin. It's just the spicy sharpness that juniper can give off. You've also got vetiver and galbanum in here. I can never pronounce that word. And they both have elements in them that contribute to the bitter greenness of this fragrance. And then, similarly to Eau Sauvage, there's a beautiful musk that sits in the base of this fragrance. It's just really manly, really pleasing, really appealing to people. So those are the core notes that you get, but you've also got some citrus and herbs at the top, as you'd expect from this type of old school fragrance, but they are overpowered by that oak moss, the juniper and the galbanum. I say this fragrance smells like a guy in his 50s wearing a suit, getting out of an Aston Martin. It smells of complete class, sophistication. It probably won't be appreciated by the under 30s. It's, if you're a real fragrance enthusiast, you need to try this one, but it is for an older crowd, I'd say. So the next one, now this one really is truly a superb fragrance. If the video was in order of preference, I think this one would be number 1. And this is a vintage bottle of Guerlain Darby, or Darby. Don't know how you pronounce it. In England we'd say Darby, but I think it might be Darby, I'm not sure. But this bottle, I believe, is from the 1990s, my actual version. It's certainly very old, don't know the exact year. But this is a stunning oak moss leather chypre perfume. So it's mossy, it's spicy, it's leathery. It's kind of a little bit of an in-your-face fragrance. There's so much going on in here. There's a very distinct floral element that sits in the background. It smells very classic, like you'd expect from like a much older, early Guerlain or sort of Chanel fragrance. There's a herbal aspect in here, there's an earthy aspect, and there's a spiciness. So as I said, lots going on, all expertly crafted together. It's one of those fragrances that you'd say is like a very complete creation, meaning that it's not easy to break it down. It's not dominated by anything. It's like an amalgamation of many things. Just ends up being a really beautiful creation. Again, most of the people under 30, maybe even people under 40, might not appreciate this one. But if you are into old school fragrances, or if you're a fragrance connoisseur, you've got to try this one. There is a current version, again, of Darby available. It comes in like a really thick wooden casket type of box. I haven't tried that one, but I have been told that it is quite a good sort of true interpretation of the vintage. So that's Guerlain Derby or Darby. Third one. This is the only one that is actually discontinued completely, and there isn't a version of this available at all. And this is a flanker to the original Yves Saint Laurent Homme, or YSL Homme. And this one's called YSL Pour Homme Haute Concentration. Now, the original version of this was very much a lavender dominant fragrance, whereas this one's more about citrus herbs and woods, I'd say. Now, I call this one the Gordon Gecko fragrance. This makes me think of Gordon Gecko, you know, with his tailored suits, with those like shirts and braces. Just a powerful guy with real class and real presence. Starts out with a lot of lemon in here and some green notes. Predominantly petitgrain is what you're going to get from here. But then it becomes herbal and woody. There's a lot of rosemary in here is another key note that you're going to pick up. Lots of woody notes. It's got a green mossiness to it. Also a little hint of funk. Nothing really strong, but just something a little bit animalic that adds to the masculinity of the fragrance. It's quite hard to find this one now. It is available in sample form from my own website. But in all seriousness, it's a great fragrance. One of my favourite sort of old school fragrances at the moment. Okay, and the final one, I think I miscounted earlier, but this is number 5. And this is actually a fragrance that, probably the fragrance that is most compared to Eau Sauvage. And this one is from Armani, and it's Armani Oh Poor Tom. This is a vintage bottle. This black bit that you can see here on the current versions is actually silver. Now, interestingly, to me, the newer version smells closer to Eau Sauvage than this vintage version. The new version of this fragrance that you can get in stores at the moment it actually probably performs a little bit better as well, but it's just lost a little bit of that magic. But one of the key notes in the vintage that differentiates it from Eau Sauvage is lavender. And in the current formulation, you'll find that lavender's been toned down quite a lot. So that's why the current version is a little bit close to Eau Sauvage. But anyway, forget all that. We're talking about this one. This is the original, and it's a woody green, citrus aromatic fragrance. Lots of herbs. It's got some orange fruits in here. I never am very good at this sort of detecting them, but it's clementine, mandarin orange, just, you know, orange fruits, generically, that kind of smell. The magic in this fragrance is the green mossy oak moss and the way it's mixed with lavender, and also jasmine and musk, I would say, as well. You know, putting all those things together just creates a really timeless classic. Pretty difficult to dislike this one. That is Armani Oh Poor Tom. So they're the first 5 for this video. As I said, there'll be other instalments of this video coming up. If you like these types of fragrances, leave a comment below. Tell me some of the ones that you like. Maybe there'll be ones that I've had, you know, that I've gotten that I'll talk about. Leave a comment, you know, as I say, and you know, give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. And I'll be back soon with another video. Cheers, guys.